Hello. So today we are going to solve the first problem of Advent of Code for this year. Basically, the first problem, this is sort of an introduction. You can read it later. I'll skip it for now, but the gist of the problem is that here today we would have two puzzles. The first one is easier, and then the second one is slightly harder, but both today are easy. And so we have a jungle that is difficult to navigate in vehicles, but we have an Elvis expeditions that go on foot, right? And as the boat approach land, the Elvis begin taking inventory of the supplies they have, the food they have, um, and what's important in the food they have is the number of calories each elf is carrying, right? How many calories they have. And so the elves take turn writing down the number of calories they have in their various meals, right? Um, and each of them write each item they have, the number of calories in a line. So something like this. So you can see elf 1 wrote the first one has 1000 calories, the second one 2000, third one 3000, then the second elf has just 4000, right? So you have this line separating the elf's input, right? And what we want to do is we want to basically calculate for the elves which one is carrying most calories. So sort of uh, the the max of the sum for the calories of each elf, right? Um, sorry, I think I gave the answer away, but yeah. So basically, what we want is to get the max of the sum of calories of each elf, right? We want the the most calories that each elf is carrying, right? So that's the idea. How can we solve it? I already have the input here, right? And so I'll just solve it. So first we will need to get the input, extract it, and get the sum for each elf, right? So the first thing is we want to get the input file. And that's just, we can open it in Python. I have it here as day1.txt. So we want to read it. And we want to collect the list of the sum of calories in a list. And after that, what we want is to get the elf input from input file. We want to read it, and then we want to, one thing to note here is that for the input of the elves, they are separated by two lines, right? The first line and the second line. The first line goes from here to here, and then the second line from here to here. But the input for a single elf is separated by just one line, right? So we can separate, just to get the group of each line, we can separate it by two lines, right? So that's the first thing. And I'll just print elf input to show you. Okay, so the first thing is, let's see what this contains. So if we do that, so that's the input text. But okay, so let's just do Python run our day1 input. So you can see it has them without the lines, right? Okay, so the next thing we can do now is just so we need to split them by one line, right? And so what we'll do here is just take the sum. We want to convert each of them, we will get as a string, so we want to convert it to an integer. But we want to split by line, right? Because they are like this, okay? And by the way, just one thing here to show you that this would work for each elf. Let me just add a separator here. And so if we do that, yeah, you can see each elf has its set separated, right? So now we can take the sum for each elf. We just need to make sure that the that x is actually not empty, right? Maybe the end is empty or something, right? And so this would be the values that we want to add to calories. Okay. And so now calories should have the total calories for each alf. Okay. And it does. Okay. So now we want to take the max. That's what the problem asks us to do. So calories -1. That would so we need to sort first, right? We can also use max, and the last one would be the largest one, right? So now let's run this, and this is the largest one. Let's just check if this matches our answer. Yes, so it does match the answer. Now part 2 says that they may eventually run out of food for the largest one, and so they want to calculate the top 3 calories for all the elves, right? So, and still for the total. So to do that, we already sorted, right? So we can just get the 3 largest and sum them up. In Python, so this here basically is just n-1. You can get the length of calories and do that, but in Python it's easier this way. So in Python we can just do the same thing, but get all 3 ones and sum them up. The 3 last ones are the largest, right? So we can just get them plus for the largest one, and then we print this. So this is the sum of the top 3, because we sorted the list. Okay, so the answer is this. Let's just make sure it's working. Yep, so that matches the answer that we have here, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, just splitting by the calories for each elf, then for each elf summing it up, and then sorting, and then getting the largest one and getting the 3 top largest ones. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for today's Advent of Code. See you on the next one. Bye.